Once, when Pokemon Go was all the rage, a friend of mine almost got taken to meet God because the guy was playing Pokemon Go at 2 in the morning in Ecatepec, one of the most dangerous areas in all of Mexico City. But the fool was out looking for Pikachu, and when he was heading back home, he saw 3 guys approaching him on a motorcycle, and he realized they were following him. So he started running, but they caught up to him. And luckily for him, in the end, they were his cousins, worried because his mom was looking for him. "They're chasing me! They're following me!" When I was about 6, I took baths with my uncle. We blocked the drain with a bag so the water wouldn't drain, making a small pool. A small one, so we could play with some little boats. But the pool was only about 5 centimeters deep. And one day I did an Olympic style dive, and since it wasn't deep at all, I hit my head really hard. And my uncle couldn't stop laughing at the stupid thing I'd done. One time, my family and I saw a drunk guy lying on the sidewalk, and I said, "Man, poor guy, let's help him out with 50 pesos so he can get some tacos." So I went up to him and left the bill. But instead of thanking us for giving him money, he said, "Get the hell out of here." And we were shocked, but honestly, we couldn't stop laughing. And instead of getting mad, we gave him another 20 pesos. I hope he realized it and took it, because if not, we just wasted it for nothing. I don't give a damn. One time I was scolding my little brother who was a kid, and I started running, but they were cleaning the bathroom, and then he pooped on me, and I saw my little brother in the bathroom pooping as he went, and he pooped in the bathroom, but I really got scared, and in the end told my mom what happened, and she gave me a real scolding. Because I was so sad, I hugged a St. Jude Thaddeus statue and asked God to forgive all my mistakes. Once, when I was a kid, my dad and I used to race in shopping malls because I would say, "Dad, I'm Flash, let's have some races." And my crazy dad didn't care what other people said. He'd race like it was a time trial. Until one day, he was running and I crossed his path. And we went flying and rolling in slow motion. Then I told him it was all his fault. But actually, it was mine. And in the end, I started to cry. One time, they made fun of me when I went bald because I had to shave my head with a #1 clipper because of the damn military service card, which by the way was useless to me. But one day I show up at school totally bald. So I walk into the classroom and everyone just stares at me and all I hear is laughter and people saying, "What a big white ball!" or "Saitama came to school today." And man, there was no way for me to defend myself because honestly, my head looked like it was polished like a shopping mall floor. Hey, that's an insult to me. One time my uncle gave me $1,000 for my birthday, so I decided to buy myself an Xbox game. It was Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and when I paid I was like, "Hell yeah man, I got a new game." But when I tried to play, it wouldn't let me in, and I thought that was weird. But then I looked and realized that what I bought wasn't the game, it was the DLC, and to top it off, it was the lamest DLC of all. No way, I was really bummed. I looked like a fool last night. One time we couldn't find my cat who had been missing for 5 days, and my dyslexia saved her because my dad sent me a message that said, "Check on top of the house, I think the water is leaking." But I read it as, "Open next to the house and pour water." So when I open a door next to my house, I hear meow. And I said, "It must be some silly cat that got stuck here." And when I open it fully, I see that it was my damn cat, the one we had been searching for everywhere. But the whole time she was right next to my house. I almost found her dead. One time, I was buying food for my dog at the supermarket, and when I was in the section with the big bags of pedigree, I started punching them like they were punching bags. But then I hit one really hard. The bag opened and all the kibble started spilling out, and all I hear throughout the supermarket is, "Security to the pet area! Security to the pet area." And because I was being dumb, I had to pay 1,500 pesos. The good thing is my dog had food for 3 years. And yes, that's me, that's me, that's me. One time, when I was alone at home, a thought came to my mind and my brain said to me, "How would we look if we were a woman?" So then I went to the mirror and hid my thing behind my legs. And I said, "So this is how I would look if I had female reproductive organs." In the end, it turns out I wasn't alone and my little brother came in. He got scared because he thought my little pee-pee had fallen off. One time I scammed myself because I wanted an Xbox 360 and one day I decided to save up 360 pesos so I could go buy it. So I went with my parents to Liverpool. And when I got there, I saw the Xbox. And I said to the lady working there, "Can I have the Xbox 360 please?" And well, she gives it to me. But when I was about to pay, I said, here's the money. And she looks at me and says, "But you're missing 1,000 pesos, kid." And well, I thought the Xbox cost 360, but it didn't. I don't think this guy is very smart. Once, when I was a kid, I used to have thoughts like, if you don't touch that tree, a truck will fall on your mom. And I had to go and touch the tree because I didn't want anything to happen to my mom. One day I told my mom, "Hey, I saved you from being." She asked when. After I explained my thoughts, she took me to a psychologist. I also once got a report sent home from school. I was playing tag with my best friend when the principal showed up. I didn't tell my parents because they would scold and get mad. So I had a classmate who would forge signatures for 10 pesos. And when I went to give my report to the teacher, I said, "Here, it's signed by my parents. Don't think it's signed by Elena." And because I was dumb and talked too much, they found out. And it got even worse for me. One time, when I was a teenager, and I did it sometimes during the day, I said, "This is the last time I'll do it, I promise." But I'm sorry to tell you that, well, it wasn't real. It wasn't really my last time. Because there are temptations. And that very day, I saw a Telcel poster on the street. And some with some really nice ones. And when I got home, I said to myself, "Hey, do you know your cousin?" And I answered myself, "Which cousin?" And I said, "Gigi." I broke my promise. A classic. 11, when I was going to take my first road trip, I thought I was going crazy because when we were in the car, you could always see water ahead on the road. But as we got closer, that thing would disappear. And I was fed up, not knowing what was happening. I said to my mom, "Hey mom, I think you're going to have to take me to the asylum." And she said, "Why?" And then I told her. The good thing is, she eventually explained it was normal and I wasn't going crazy. One time when I was going to take my first road trip, I thought I was going crazy because when we were in the car, there was always water ahead on the road. But as we got closer, that thing disappeared. And I was fed up, not knowing what was happening. I told my mom, "Hey mom, I think you're going to have to take me to the madhouse." And she said, "Huh? Why?" And then I told her. But the good thing is that in the end, she explained to me that it was normal and that I wasn't going crazy. One time, when One Direction was popular, I really liked them. And one day, I saw Harry Styles' profile on Facebook. And my 12-year-old self honestly believed it was real. And one day, I sent him a message and wrote, "Hi Harry, I love you a lot, I'm your fan." And the next day, I got a reply in English. It said, "Hello dear fan, to show your love for us, send us the numbers on the back of your mom's card." And man, my idol let me down. Honestly, I was really dumb. Hey! I'm speaking to you from prison.